Most were aware coming into this season that Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander was very good, but I don't think anyone really thought of him as a legitimate top 15 to 20 player in the league. The way he has played this season, he probably ranks somewhere on that list. Shea is one of only 7 players right now averaging over 30 points per game. He has scored 30 plus points in 8 of his 12 games, including Sunday at Madison Square Garden, where he exploded for 37 points in an OKC victory over New York. So, what you might be wondering has catapulted SGA into upper tier status. There are many layers to this question, but to me, the biggest thing by far is that he's doing more of what he does best rather than dabble into things that are not necessarily his strengths. We'll get into what he does going towards the basket in a moment, but way too underappreciated about Shai is that he is an elite mid-range shooter, particularly from 10 to 14 feet out. Last year from this range, he averaged just 2.1 field goal attempts per game. This year, that's up to 4.8 attempts, and he's shooting 58% from this distance, which ranks number 1 in the league amongst qualified players. It's not just his shooting touch from this range, though. It's how good he is at manipulating his defenders with herky-jerky, fluctuating shifts with his body. We all marveled at James Harden during his Rockets days for his dribble combinations that would lead to his step-back three-pointers. Shai has a lethal mid-range step-back, and unlike Harden, who had much more creativity with his handles, Shai relies more on body maneuvering to create space. He often does this thing where he stays within close quarters of his defender and then in a flash slides back to carve out just enough separation for a pull-up jumper. He just bounces right off the defender without pushing. His stuff going towards the hoop is just smooth and glossy. A few years back, when Harden was in his prime, I would always watch compilation mixtapes of him that had some good music in the background because Harden's rhythm as he danced around the court aligned well with the music. I feel like it's the same with Shai. It's fun to watch because it's like a stage performance. It's so graceful and so rhythmic. Shai is not very fast or electric. He's not blowing past defenders or hanging in the air. He's not an explosive athlete like Ja Morant or a speedster like De'Aaron Fox. He's not a fancy dribbler like Kyrie Irving. I would describe Shai as a basketball artist. He's ultra crafty, plays with cadence, knows how to get to his spots. He has a great spin move, he protects the ball, he lulls defenders to sleep with his patience, and he uses his long strides to his advantage as he glides toward the basket. Right now, Gilgeous-Alexander leads the league in points in the paint. That's unheard of for a guard. Now, Morant finished 3rd last year in points in the paint, but never before has a guard led the NBA in total paint points, so that's something to keep an eye on the rest of the year. He's also excellent at drawing contact on drives. One of the benefits of not creating too much separation is that defenders will sometimes get tangled up as they try guessing the offensive player's next move, and that happens a lot with Shai as the driver. He's also an outstanding free throw shooter, currently at 93.8%. Another category that Shai leads the NBA in is transition points. It's not even that close right now. Through his first 11 games, he totaled 94 transition points. That was at the time 15 more than the player who had the second most, which was Tyrese Maxey, and Maxey had played 2 more games than Shai when those numbers were logged. OKC as a team leads the NBA in total shots made in transition. Because most of his shots come when he's the creator, Shai is very dribble heavy. There's no two ways about it. It's probably not fair to suggest, though, that's a bad thing, but can an offense get stagnant when someone is so ball dominant? It's possible. Shai leads the league for most shots taken when there's between 3 and 6 dribbles from the shooter preceding the attempt. Probably most underrated about Shai is his vision when he gets into the paint. According to Second Spectrum tracking data, he's dished out the 3rd most kickout passes that led to a shot. Once the defense collapses and the paint is too crowded, he'll whip out clean passes to shooters on the perimeter. Something that he doesn't do that well for a big guard, and remember, he's 6'6" with a 6'11" wingspan. is rebound that much. He's averaging 4.4 rebounds, which may not seem like a big deal, but when you think about some of the top guards in the league, some of them are their team's better rebounders, like Harden, Luka Doncic, LaMelo Ball when he's healthy, DeJounte Murray. Ja Morant is a very good rebounder as well. Shai's backcourt teammate, Josh Giddey, actually leads the Thunder in rebounding. As far as Shai's main weakness, it's clearly his outside shooting. And to go back to what I said earlier about sticking to what he does best, he's not taking many threes. In fact, he's averaging just 2.8 three-point attempts per game. Last year, he averaged 5.3 attempts from beyond the arc. That's not to say that he's not capable of knocking down threes. Currently, he's shooting 36% from downtown. 2 years ago, he shot nearly 42% from beyond the arc. Last year, 30%. Most of his three-point attempts come off pull-ups rather than catch and shoot, which is kind of interesting considering he plays alongside a playmaking guard in Giddey. As far as his defense, it seems better than it had been in previous years. He's actually tied right now for third in the league in total steals. He's done a pretty good job guarding in isolation. Opponents, according to Second Spectrum, are shooting a shade below 42% from the field when he's been the closest defender. He's also among the league leaders in deflections. To sum up SGA, he's another player that never gets sped up, has amazing touch anywhere within about 15 feet of the basket, has nifty footwork and a crafty stop and start game, is a sneaky good playmaker, and an improved defender. Through 12 games, he's averaging 31.1 points on a career-high 54.3% overall shooting, 4.4 rebounds, 5.7 assists, 2.1 steals, and 1.5 blocks. As I said at the top, I don't think anyone really had him ranked in the top 20 in the league, but without question, he's in there. Barring some kind of setback, he should be a lock to be a first-time NBA All-Star this season, and he's in the Most Improved Player award conversation. This is becoming an interesting season when it comes to potential first-time All-Stars. In addition to Shai, guys like Lauri Markkanen, De'Aaron Fox, Desmond Bane, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, Jeremy Grant, Kyle Kuzma, Keldon Johnson, and even though he's just a rookie, Paolo Banchero are all certainly in that first-time All-Star discussion. So that'll wrap up this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe. Some of the other players that I've already done videos on include Paolo Banchero, Luka Doncic, Franz Wagner, Lauri Markkanen, Benedict Mathurin, and Bol Bol.